Right. Good evening. My name is Venison Jeffrey, and this is Terry Shade here, and this is the Workers' Rights Platform. Today we talking crime.
Crime and the causes of crime.
So there are many causes that we could highlight, and not just as we just be seen in the public, not just the factor that government causing crime, because we all know that the government now holding the knife and telling you stab that one. We could watch as the government involvement in crime as something as a remote cause. So they could be the ones that inducing a certain type of atmosphere that may encourage you to commit crime. We know crime is something that has been on different levels, and with this year I go ask Terry Shade to come in on this part of the discussion. So Terry Shade.
Yeah, well, so again, my name is Terry Shade. I'm from the Workers' Rights and Human Rights Platform. Crime, well, the number one, as Jeffrey said, the politicians and them is what has caused the remote. The politicians have money. Them is the one had the tax-paying money. Politicians just cause poverty. And once it have poverty, it will have crime. You understand? So, let me go now in terms of drugs. Drugs is what has caused crime. Once you have drugs in a community, you have to protect your drugs money, which is getting a gun. There's also people who might want to rob and steal from your drugs, or people who bring the correct amount of money for your drugs. That you gotta go and shoot them, send a message to the family members. Right? So poverty is one of the causes of crime, and why it is people just had to take guns and drugs to sell on the streets is because they're in poverty and they want to find a little ends meet to survive. Those are the things that cause crime. So let me start in terms of poverty. Now the Prime Minister gave all these set of millions of dollars you're seeing spending. All these set of millions of dollars spending. But poor people still suffering. That will have crime because the youths and them, we not dunce, we smart. So we seeing millions of dollars spending on this. Tobago get how much? I think it's 17 million for Carnival. But the youth man had to run in Labas. For those of you all who know, whoever gone in the Labas in the Beaton. When he reach in the Labas, the youths had to be fighting on the truck. You understand? The other day I went to throw some rubbish on a truck. Driving in the Labas. You see 3 men jump on the truck and fighting each other to dig up in the garbage bag to see if they could find a shoes or a socks or some kind of clothes or something to sell now to get a little ends meet. And saying that too, the next cause of crime, Terry, is peer pressure. Now, sometimes you might be going to school. This has especially happened within your teenage years when you haven't found your identity, where you haven't not in tune with your identity. Peer pressure does be causing crime. Sometimes to initiate into a particular group of people that does push you to do certain things. So they say, well, alright, well, take a smoke now, take a drink now. All of these things are causing factors. Now, we bounce up on one that's very controversial, and I really don't want to go into it, but I know my partner here is edgy to go into it. Religion. There are crimes that does be caused by religion, and here is the narrative. Everybody believes that their religion is correct. So if 10 different type of religion believe, alright, all 10 is correct, expect what will happen. In certain countries, they just kill them if there is not a part of certain religion. In Trinidad, however, oh God, I don't want to believe that going on in Trinidad. But where's your take on that, Terry? Because I know this is one that tickle your fancy a little bit. Yeah. Well, the two things you talk about there, I want to touch on it, the peer pressure and the religion. The first thing first, peer pressure, yes, does cause crime, and that's why, as a mother and father, I had to teach all the children moral values. You understand? Once you could instill moral values in all the children, nobody can peer pressure them in school. I was peer pressured in school to smoke weed and do a lot of evilness, but I didn't do it because my parents taught me moral values. But it had the other children who was doing the illegal activities. because them was not brought up with moral values. You understand? So all them things is what is called crime. Parents will need to teach other children some moral values, instill in their brain what is right and what is wrong, and that is to solve crime to a point. That is one of the causes of crime. Parents not teaching their children moral values. In terms of the religion now, well, there are two things on that. When you pay your tithes money to a pastor is supposed to take that tithes money and help the people. You know? So if, let me say, I lost my work today, the pastor is supposed to take from the tithes money and help me pay my rent. Help me if it's my light bill I have to pay. Until I get back a job to help my own self. That is what the tithes money is for. But pastors not doing that. Look how much are people in Trinidad and Tobago unemployed. Which pastor dipping from the tithes money to say, here, I go pay a rent for you. I go pay a car loan for you. I go pay island finance for you until you get back at work. Where you can pay your own loan yourself. That is what the tithes money is for. But instead of the pastors use that for the tithes money to help people, pastor living a lavish life, a comfortable life. So much so that a pastor could walk into the bank with $30 million to change it. The youth seeing, so when the youth so unemployed now, and that unemployment already causing crime. So when the youth and them seeing the pastor walking with $30 million, and no pastor can help him pay his rent or help him buy groceries to mind his two children and his wife, that will get mad. He go want to go and rob and thief. Because the country have money. You're seeing millions of dollars spending left, right and center. The pastor have all kind of millions of dollars in his church, but he not helping poor people. That go send a man mad. It go cause crime. It go cause robbery.
And most of the time too, when a man doing them kind of thing and nothing coming back to the people that supporting that organization, it does cause crime. Now we could watch it on a bigger spectrum with the government. You would have mentioned you see millions spending left, right and center, but nothing coming back to the public. Waiting go happen there. Not crime. A man go pick up a gun and say, boy, get rich or die trying. Because here what going on. If I can't get rich now, better die trying, because we seeing them spending the money. Yeah. We seeing they talk about the pastor that went in there and nothing coming back. A man, boys, that does make people cash out and say they're going to church and thing again.
Yeah, people just go mad. You know, so another thing with the religion. Let me say I was a drug dealer and I genuinely want to change my life, because drugs has mash up our community. Yeah? Once they get somebody drugs to take, they just go mad. They just end up living on the streets. They just get schizophrenic, bipolar. So drugs is a bad thing to do. That's why the Bible says must not be a drug dealer, and a drug dealer must be put to death. That's what the Bible says. You understand? Now if I have a drug dealer and I genuinely want to change my life, and I walk into church, I say, Pastor, I want to change my life, I want to stop selling drugs. The pastor go tell me, God loves you anyway, even though you're selling drugs. Because God loves the sinner, He just hates the sin. That is a wrong statement them pastors and them making in church. So imagine I as a drug dealer coming to change my life. I as a gunman, a murderer, coming to change my life in church. The pastor telling me God loves me anyway. I gonna remain being a drug dealer or a gunman, because I know people might hire me to shoot somebody and I will get 5,000. Or if I sell drugs in my community, even though it's destroying the lives in the community, I gain money. So even though I doing something wrong, the pastor just tell me God loves me anyway. So I would remain a drug dealer and I would remain a gunman. So religion is destroying Trinidad and Tobago. Religion is what is causing crime.
Let me make a comment on that, because I want to elaborate on that a little more. Now, sometimes you see some of the times the pastors and them does really tell the wrong thing. Tell the right thing to the wrong person. Now if a man sin, the pastor message supposed to be how going on. Stop sinning, put away those things and follow me. You understand? Now when you reach that particular spiritual maturity, then he could deliver the message to you, hey, what's going on? God didn't stop loving you, you know. He just didn't really like what he was doing, because what he was doing was wrong. But these pastors and them would have tried to make it look like, in spite of what, God does hate the sinner, you know. he does hate the sin and he does hate the sin, you supposed to know that and fear and come to him in a genuine way. And the pastors keep telling you the message at the wrong time when it's not supposed to be delivered to you at that point in time. So if I come into a church today, according to you, and I say, God man, the pastor might say, God still love you. No, I'm not supposed to hear that message. That message is for the pastor. What the pastor is supposed to see in you is say, oh, going on, brother, you need to change. If that is a thing, you need to change. And if certain sins it has certain sins on particular degree. If I mash our hands, nothing might come out of that. Because it's just our hands and mash, and we don't really value our hands. Let me be real. We don't really value our hands in this society. But if I kill a man, God will forgive me, you know? But I have to make some time in jail. And that is what it is. It has certain sins that is on particular levels now. But I know you was the man of the cloth, so go into it, Larry. I know you're that man.
Them pastors, you could even go to the politicians, because if the pastor was teaching the truth, the politicians and all, when they get the taxpayers' money, they would have used it for good use. How the hell you mean Rowley could take $80 million for camera footage, for the CCTV camera footage, to help solve crime? That cannot solve crime. As a matter of fact, that would encourage crime. Because when the youth see $80 million spending on cameras, they will get more mad and more angry, and they will shoot down the place even more because they're frustrated.
Now, concerning that camera footage is buoying, because here what I tell you, if that camera footage don't have facial recognition software, we buying shit. Real talk. If you don't have no facial recognition software, we buying shit. And you know what it's about? Now, or you know, certain camera footage cannot stand up in court. So why we buying the cameras? What we doing? Imagine you want to spend $80 million on camera when you could put certain programs in place to try to educate the youths so they could come out of life of crime. Come into a certain village or a certain place like in Laventille, open some others called some live skill sessions in which people could come and sit down and actually talk to them. Could actually tell them, hey, you don't have to do it like this. You could do it like this. You don't have to be like this. You could be like this. You understand what I'm saying? So come on. You just want to give somebody a contract or $80 million for something that will be a partner or something.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man. Trinidad's so rich. Trinidad have 1.5 million people in it. I'm sure if we do a math and we divide it, everybody could get a nice piece of lump sum from that $80 million. You understand? And that is $80 million there. But Trinidad is so rich, but I feel every citizen could get $1 million in their bank account. Why the Prime Minister don't do that? Solving crime, people in poverty, people unemployed. Give the unemployed jobs. You understand? Stop give the people who are in poverty, make them come out of poverty. Put some money in their bank account and say, alright, I'll get $200,000. Let's start off with that. Go in the bank, get a loan, build some building, some hotel or something, and I'll rent it out. Something. Give the poor opportunity to get a nice piece of loan in the bank. Because when they go in the bank and they poor, the most they get is $5,000, you know. That no money.
What, 10,000?
Yeah.
And they had to pay back 50, nothing
yeah.
fair.
That no kind of money. Trinidad is so rich where everybody could get $1 million in their bank account. But the politicians not doing it. Because the pastors not teaching the politicians moral values. As a pastor, you have to teach the citizens and their moral values. The people who come in the church, or when them politicians going and touching the Bible, when they does make the oath now.
The oath.
They're touching the Bible and making an oath. The pastor is not teaching them politicians moral values.
And Terry, you know, I didn't really want to dive into it too long because we was talking about the crime. And we could go on and on with this topic concerning them pastor and them. And a matter of fact, we go dedicate a session where we go deal with them. These our pastors is wolves in sheep clothing, and they was there since in the time of Christ. When Christ tell them you're like open sepulchres. Pretty on the outside, and inside you're full of dead man bones. Now we could go into that, but the crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago is at an all-time high.
Yes.
And we are seeing people in this economy that is mischief makers, trying to make crime, trying to only put crime on a governmental level, when that is only one level, and there are levels underneath this. And these are the levels that underneath we're supposed to get rid of. Changing our government, that has come once every 5 years. You understand? But the social structures that the government are ignoring that could eradicate the crime situation, but to bring it down to a level that it don't have to be so high. These are the things that we supposed to be lobbying for, and stop letting certain political parties trying to bamboozle your head and saying here what's going on. Or you want thing to change, vote we. And I just wonder, right, voting and what we will do. Come on, so are you not willing to help or to educate the public at this point in time to how to alleviate crime, or you just want to think, alright, that remind me of a time I playing football with, I tell a man, hey, let you go and play some football. He say he want the ball first. And that is what they're doing. That is what they're doing all year. When they say, alright, let me talk about crime, or you vote win first. Nonsense. You are seeing that they don't really care about crime. They want you to vote them in. That is what they want. And that is what we had to get away from. So anytime you catch a man saying, boy, I want the ball first, understand the tactics of the politicians and them.
Yeah, that is it. So going back to when Rowley had the state of emergency, I remember we were talking the other day and we were talking about taking away some of the rights from the citizens that might help prevent crime. And that is true. A lot of people keep saying Gary Griffith is what caused the crime to be low. But no, it's not Gary Griffith. It's because our rights was taken away from us. It had a state of emergency. And on top of the state of emergency, it had a curfew. At a certain time, you have to be inside. That's the only good thing Rowley do as Prime Minister.
No.
Because on that year, that was last year, I think, last year, when he had the curfew, when he had the lockdown, and when he had the state of emergency, crime was low. It's not because of Gary Griffith. It's because of again. So you see how much power the politicians have to stop crime?
Now, we're talking about Gary Griffith. Let me make a comment on that. Now, no man can stop crime. Let me get that in my head. Nobody can stop crime. But what could take place is that a man could be used as an instrument to stop crime. A man can say, alright, crime stop and crime stop. A man might have the knowledge and the know-how, and he's an instrument to say, well, alright, I might use you and say, alright, Cherry Shade, I go do some live sports in that area for me now, and you'll get paid. Now, what you not stopping crime in it, but he's an instrument in making, in causing the reduction in crime. And there are people that like to take credit for things that they never really did. You understand? You not stopping crime. No man can stop crime, but they could be instruments in reducing the crime, and that is what it is. So don't put nobody up on no pedestal. You understand what I'm saying? So they say, well, I'm a superhero. I'll show you my chest, but I want to be kind of pleasant today. Yeah. But go ahead.
But yeah, that is it. Taking away the rights from the citizen, that is one of the reasons we could stop or decrease the crime. But when it had the state of emergency, crime was low. When we also had the curfew, crime was low. Right? So all of keep saying is Gary Griffith is not because of that. It's the state of emergency and how we had the curfew. Crime was low. But now why it having the crime in the first place? For we to have a state of emergency and well, we know the curfew was the COVID, so we ain't gonna forget that. But the state of emergency was because of the crime.
Yeah, but you say something. Yeah. Why it had the crime in the first place?
Why it have it in the first place?
And that is what. And watch, man. When we talking about them nasty politicians and them, they will say that next administration caused crime. Alright, let you pass the administration. Under your administration, they not crime. Come on now, man. What causing the crime? Yes. That is what we have to attack. It's not an administration. Crime is a social issue. And I just hate when I see some of them fanatics and them from the both parties. Them trolls from PNM and from UNC keep pointing fingers. Watch how high the crime is on 90 or 10 year. Watch how high the crime is on 90 or 10 year. Madness with all your Madness.
I really feel if Philip Alexander get in office and he put a referendum, crime, it might not stop, but it might decrease to a point where everybody could be comfortable enough to walk that street safe. They will feel safe walking in Port of Speed. They will be safe walking in Diego Martin. It might not stop, but it will decrease to that amount where everybody will just feel safe to walk the streets of Trinidad and Tobago. Because that's how it was back in the days. You understand?
Anybody could have walked the street.
People in Duncan Street could have walked Nelson Street. That's how it was. No, Nelson's can walk in Duncan. It's madness.
Men have to walk with bulletproof vests, but
yeah. So what it is we have to do now? I feel if we had a referendum and we see Rowley give $80 million for the camera footage. Once referendum pass underneath Philip Alexander, we go to Parliament and say, yeah, we're going on Rowley. You see that $80 million? Take it and divide it into the citizens and pay it in them bank account. Because the reason why it have crime is because people is unemployed and they have no jobs.
Well, that is because right about now the higher percentage of crime is caused by that because of the high state of unemployment. But there are other factors too. But you see the unemployment factor, that is something that we should attack. We should attack that. We should have a war on unemployment in Trinidad.
And imagine Rowley know that and Rowley firing people in Petrotrin.
Yeah.
Right now they want to fire Wassa workers. So them know unemployment go cause crime and them firing people still and preparing themselves to fire people. No. I can't do that.
Well, people, we don't want to take up too much of our time. We see the time ticking away. Tick, 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 tick. Next time, you will come with this more in depth. Or you don't forget in the comments. Or you like, share and subscribe. Comment on it and tell us what you want to hear and we will bring the information to you in a other put it across in an unbiased way. Very unbiased. So I know what you want to say again. You want to tell your audience that something Kerry they listen to me for so long. Tell them thanks for listening now, boy.
Yeah, well. To the viewers, thanks for listening, and don't forget we on Facebook, Workers' Rights and Human Rights on Facebook. Like it and follow the page on Facebook. Right?
Well, we out.